In project 2, we're going to look at using the quick styles within our change styles area here, and also we're going to apply some existing styles that we have. Keep in mind a style is a set of formatting instructions that you can apply to text, and quick styles are very similar to our themes in that when we choose those themes or when we choose a style, those immediately change the overall effect of text within our document. And so we're just going to take a look at some of these quick styles and how we can make a specific quick style our default within a document, and then we'll apply some other styles within a document as well. We're going to start first of all by formatting our current document to a set of font colors, styles, and an overall quick style, and then we're going to set that as our default so that anytime we open up a new document it'll automatically be set to a certain combination of styles. And right now, if we'll go to the Change Styles button, pointing to style set, the style set is at black and white, okay, and typically you have it at Word 2010, but just know what your default is, and what we're going to do is apply a default set of formats to our documents, or a set of styles I should say. So to do that, we're going to go through, and the style set we do want to change to Thatch, and you can see some of the things changing here too as we go through that. Also, we want the colors to be changed to Flow, and the fonts we want changed to Paper. Okay, and all that affects, our color palettes, the styles, the fonts that we've selected and we'll be using within this document. And then to make that combination of colors, fonts, and styles as our default, we have to go back into the Change Styles button, choose this Set as Default. Okay, now if you close out of this, go to a new document. We're not making any changes to it, but if we go to a new document, all those same document formats have been applied to this blank document. You can see those within here as well. So that's Flow, the font is Paper, the style set is Thatch, which you can't really see that, but that's been set as well. Okay, you can also change the paragraph spacing. Right now, remember the paragraph spacing by default is 10 points after you press an enter, and then also the single spacing, the line spacing, is typically set at 1.15. So we're going to go in and modify that as well, and you can do that through the Change Styles button, paragraph spacing, and then we're just going to use the relaxed option as the one that they'd like for us to use. Okay, now they want us, and this is the bottom of page 139, they want us to assume that we want a previously created document formatted with the styles in Word 2010, the quick style set. To do that, if it's already set in a different style set, okay, if the current document that you're wanting to change is in a different style set, rather than opening it, you need to insert it into our existing style that we want. So, and if you'll recall, to do that, we're going to actually pull one up here. If you go under Insert and then Object, Insert Text from File. We want to pull up a file, I'm sorry. And then from the Chapter 4 folder, we want to pull in TTSA Africa. And by doing that, that pulls it into our current default set, and it overrides whatever default set was used previously. Okay? Alright, now we're going to use the same document here, and we're going to apply some styles, some additional styles to our document. And the first one, they want us to look at the Styles task pane. And these are some additional styles that you may not normally see within the Style Gallery. So, but if you go into your Style Gallery, at the very bottom there's an Apply Styles option, which will bring up the Apply Styles dialog box. And within that, there are a lot of styles in here. They're all in alphabetical order. No, they're not. I'm lying to you. They're not. But you have a lot more available to you than you do just in your gallery. And so what they would like for us to do, first of all, is let's go back. Let me get out of this for just a minute. And let's select some text first. We're looking for small groups. So I'm going to select that, and we're going to pull up the dialog or the task pane itself so that it's on the right hand side. And to do that, you just go to your Styles dialog box launcher. Okay. Okay. And within that, we're going to go and select Settle Emphasis. And if you'll notice the Settle Emphasis, click on that, and that should apply it to the text that we had selected. And after applying the Settle Emphasis, they also want us to apply it to the other side headings here. So I'm just going to select those and choose Settle Emphasis on each one of these. And you can actually, I could select them more at once. I guess that's the only ones, but you could select several of them by holding down the Control key and then applying that particular style. Okay. Now at the bottom is a quote by Mark Twain, and they would like for us to apply the quote style to that last line. So I'm going to select the last line, and then I'll choose quote, and that applies, you know, set of formats built into that to the quote. And then once you apply it, they want you to delete it. So if you click anywhere within that quote, you can choose clear all in the Styles task pane, and that takes it back. Now, the only problem is that was centered originally, so you may have to go back and center align that like it was previously. Okay. Also, if you click in any text that already has a style applied to it, notice how it changes. If I click out here and I click on text that has a style applied to it, it'll pop up in the task pane on the right hand side. Okay, so you can see that. It also shows you what's involved with that particular style. Notice when I do that, I get the tooltip that tells me what font was used, bold, italic, the font color that was used. All that's located in each one of these styles. Alright, now I'm going to close out of this. They also want us to go back to this quote, and we're going to apply a style from the gallery, and they want us to use this intense quote option. So you can do it from there. You can also go to apply styles and choose intense quote from here. They're all the same. Okay, so any of those methods work just fine. Okay. Now, if we want to get back to the original default quick styles, the set, the colors, the fonts, paragraph spacing, all of that, close out of this. To get back to it now, they have you opening another document that they know has the default Word 2010 set in it, and then once you have a document with all those defaults, then you can set it as a default again. So if we open up the file called KLH plan, yeah. If we open that, it has our default settings in there, and then we can go back to the change styles area and choose, and notice here black and white set, colors is back to Office, fonts back to Cambria and Calibri. Okay, so we're just going to choose set as default, and if you know all those, you can go back and set those to the original and then set as default. But sometimes we forget what the different parts are. So if you have a document that you know didn't have any changes made to it, you could open that document and then set it as a default. Okay, and then the last project that we're going to look at is project 3, and in it we're going to take a look at how we can navigate within our document, between documents, and then between programs, and we're going to use a variety of methods to do that. The first one, we're going to use the navigation pane. And so I'm actually going to close out of these files that we have open, and we'll open up the one that they've requested. This is in Project 3A. We're looking for viruses security. So I'll open that. And the reason I'm opening this is the navigation pane allows you to navigate between text or items within your document that have styles applied to them. So if you've got a specific document that does have styles, you can tell these have styles on it. By clicking those, that's heading 2. The first one was heading 1. But the navigation pane looks at those styles and allows you to navigate using those styles. Okay. So to pull up the navigation pane, we're going to go under the View tab, and in the Show group, we're going to click on Navigation Pane. That brings it up here on the left. Notice that all these texts and titles that have had styles applied to them, we just click on those, they'll quickly take you to those areas within your document. All these heading 1s, heading 2 lines of text that had the styles applied to them, they can be found then in the navigation pane. So very quick way of maneuvering and getting through a document, as long as you have it set up in your document where styles are created. Okay, you can also, these tabs, if you click on Browse Pages, you can actually see little thumbnail sketches of that. So if we want to go to page 2, 3, or whatever, you can click on those using the navigation pane. Now, this is in addition to using the page up, page down, and also there's a little navigation browse object. You could use the page up and page down of that as well. So lots of different ways to navigate throughout your document. This is just another way using the navigation pane. And to close out of that, you can click on the close button here. You can also remove the check mark from the checkbox. Okay. Another way that you can maneuver or navigate throughout a document is through the use of bookmarks. And bookmarks can be used if you don't have styles within a document. Now, I know we're going to have styles here, but you can go through and set your own bookmarks just like you would if you were reading a textbook or reading a book on your own. And they want us to set a couple of bookmarks within this document. The first bookmark, they want us to go to the types of viruses. And I probably should left my navigation pane open, but we're moving to the beginning of the paragraph in the types of viruses area, and we're going to set a bookmark there called viruses. So to set a bookmark, we're going to go underneath the Insert tab because you're inserting something, and then in the Links group, click on that, that'll expand out that group, and we're going to go into Bookmark. That'll bring up the bookmark dialog box, and the name of the bookmark that we want to apply here is viruses, and we're going to add. And you're not going to be able to see the actual bookmark here until you go into your Options button and turn that feature on. So to turn it on, if you go to the Files tab and then Options, and in the Advanced category here on the left-hand side, scroll down a little bit here. And in the Show Document Content, we want to show bookmarks. And then we'll click OK if I can find it. Click OK out of this. And now you should see an I-beam. That gray I-beam indicates that a bookmark has been set at that point. Okay. We're also going to insert another bookmark named Electrical in the Systems Failure section. Okay, so here we're going to set it another bookmark that's called Electrical. So to do that, again, under the Insert tab, Links group, choose Bookmark, and the name that we want to add to this one is Electrical, and we'll add. So now we have 2 of those in there. Okay. Notice now the I-beam comes up there. Now if you want to go back to viruses, go back to your bookmark dialog box, click on viruses and say go to, and that'll take you back to the bookmark. Now they also want us to show us how we can delete bookmarks. So they want us to delete the electrical bookmark that we just put in there. To do that, we're going to select it, click on delete, and we're left with viruses. We're actually going to leave that bookmark in at this point because we are going to be using that a little bit later on to insert a hyperlink. So click on close out of that, leave that particular bookmark within the document. All right, next we're going to take a look again at how we can navigate within a document using hyperlinks. And we're going to set a hyperlink to go to that virus bookmark within our document. So to do that, we want, first of all, going to the Chapter 4 Security Risks, first paragraph. Okay, so right here, we want to put in a hyperlink that will allow us to go back to the viruses area. Okay, now to do that we do need to put in some text here so that the user knows to go back to, they'll be able to click on the text and then that'll immediately take them to viruses. And this is in lieu of having them go to the bookmarks dialog box, because obviously you could go back to the bookmark dialog box, click on viruses, and that takes you to the viruses area. We want the user to be able to just click on text and immediately go to that bookmark. So to do that, now I've spaced one time after the period here so it's not so close together. And then we're going to go back to the links group and choose hyperlink. And then in the insert hyperlink dialog box on the left hand side we're going to choose place in this document. Notice it's picking up on the various titles. Again, it's based on styles, but we should see at the bottom that there's a bookmarks category and we want to go to viruses. So we're going to select viruses. And the text to display, we want to tell it, we want to say click, maybe if I can type, click to view types of viruses. We're also going to include a screen tip. So I'm going to click on that, and the screen tip, we're just going to say view types of viruses. Click OK to that, and then we'll OK out of that dialog box. And you'll notice here it's blue. You're familiar with the blue hyperlinks. And then to actually get to that, we're going to click on the control key, and notice when I lay my mouse on top of that hyperlink, notice the tooltip, the screen tip that pops up that we just keyed in. It says view types of viruses. Then it also tells you how to get to that area. So I'm going to hold down the control key and click, and that takes me back to viruses where our bookmark was located. Okay. Now we're also going to insert another hyperlink that allows us to go to a heading, and keep in mind these headings are only working or being marked because they have a style applied to them. Okay, so we're going to actually put in another hyperlink though that will link to the methods of virus operation heading. It's right here. Okay, we want it to go to this, but we want it to appear, we want the link to appear at the top of the document, second paragraph, so right in here. And we're going to hit the space bar again just like we did before, and we're going to put in a hyperlink again that says click to go to the methods of virus operation. Okay, so to do that, again, in the insert tab, links group, and then hyperlink. Again, in the link to area, we want place in this document, and as I mentioned before, these are all the headings that are in there. And we want to go to the Chapter 3, but methods of virus operation. Notice that automatically pulls in the text to display, which is what we want, and we're not going to put a screen tip on it this time. So we'll click OK to that. Notice there it says methods of virus operation. Now if you wanted it to say click to go to methods of virus operation, you could certainly do that. And in fact, if I right click on this hyperlink, I can go in and edit hyperlink, and then I can just type in click to go to methods of whatever. Okay, now when I hold down the control key and click on that, it'll automatically jump me to that heading. So it's a great tool to be able to quickly navigate to different parts of the document.